Maybe I should phone Chris Harris. Maybe he'll pick up this time.
Yeah, let's get him on the line.
No, go on.
Dial him up.
If he picks up, I'm literally going to shit myself.
Hello?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Autoalex podcast. This is now, episode 18?
It is, yes.
We've been doing quite well, haven't we?
We have.
We are quite consistent.
We've kept to our weekly schedule.
Except for 1 week.
Oh, yeah, that was Christmas, though.
That was Christmas. Give us
got
a
a little
break,
song.
everybody. Anyway, you join me, Rory Mackay, and to my right, we've got a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's Mr. Ben Collins. And you're quite well versed in motor vehicles, in a bit of YouTube and all of that. I've written down a few things. Former Stig, stunt driver, racing driver and instructor, published author, and now YouTuber as well.
And number one motoring podcast.
It's it?
Yeah, last year.
Shit, when did that happen?
I was watching yours, and then because I remember you got in touch.
Yeah.
You said you were kind of upset, and you got
yeah.
knocked into second spot briefly. It was bad for a nanosecond.
Oh, was it? Okay. Oh, so you've gone down the charts now again.
Yeah, well, you've
fantastic.
knocked me back into a cocked hat.
Rory, can we get those podcast charts
Yeah,
up?
I'm getting them up.
I thought that you would.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. I mean, if you're going to be factual about it, then you've got to
Fair
have
enough.
the facts right.
Yeah, no, we're still top. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
oh, where's Ben?
No, I haven't put one out recently.
Keep scrolling.
I'm scrolling.
Yeah, keep scrolling.
Scrolling.
Sorry, Ben, we're just scrolling. Are we going to
that's
run out
all
of bandwidth?
Oh, there we go. There we
Yeah.
go. Ben, you're number 22 at the moment.
There you go. I like that's a good number, isn't
It's
it?
pretty good. You corrected me earlier before the podcast because I said author, and then you were like, I mean.
Best-selling author.
Really?
Well, in one of them, yeah.
In what field?
Yeah. I've done 3 books now.
Yeah.
So the first one, which was a Flight of Fantasy, which was the biography. Now, I was as factual as possible. So that was the Man in the White Suit. That's the one I wrote when I left Top Gear.
Yeah.
And then I've done 2 since, How to Drive, which was bringing in all the sort of racing experience and all the crazy stuff and trying to make it useful for road driving, performance driving. And then the latest, Aston Martin. So the story of the company.
Yeah, that's
which was
been out,
really
what, 2 or 3 years?
2 years, yeah.
Is that doing well?
It's done pretty well, and I really enjoy. I mean, I've enjoyed writing. I love writing, but the Aston one was really fun because it was nothing to do with me really. It was all about
Yeah.
other people, and I kind of did it as a series of mini biographies of all these amazing characters.
Fantastic.
They're cool. Well, their history is like a spaghetti. There are these links all the way running through their time. So from the early days, so the guy that built Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Count Zabrowski, who was this crazy rich count with lots of money.
I think we're going to get a full roundup of the book now.
No, you're not. I'm telling you
right.
about Zabrowski.
Oh, Zabrowski.
No, he still needs people to buy the book.
So impatient.
The pianist
He's-
Zabrowski.
He Chitty Bang Bang. You know what that is, or you know?
Yes.
Yes.
You know the film and everything.
Yeah.
It's
quite a shit film, actually, isn't it?
What?
I didn't really get into it.
disgraceful.
It was. I just didn't believe it.
The car that can fly.
No.
Do you want to know where that comes from?
Yeah.
So originally, Brooklands, it was the biggest track in the world.
Yeah.
It would be if there wasn't a Tesco's car park, but because we love heritage, we really look after our heritage.
We do
in this
indeed,
country.
yeah.
So I think it would have eaten up Indianapolis more than twice or something like that. It's huge, vast amounts of concrete. It was this amazing aeronautical centre and for petrol heads and stuff like this. And this count had built this car out of a truck. He took a truck chassis from World War One. And took the engine from a Zeppelin.
Yeah.
He got a knockdown. It was German Zeppelins were going cheap at the end of World War One. He took the engine out of it and put this thing together. He used his a drain pipe from his Manor as the exhaust. It's absolutely colossal. You'd love this because you're building cars and tweaking and stuff like this. This guy's on another level. It was sort of properly pimped this thing out and raced it around Brooklands. And it was it got put into a special class. It was such a beast, this machine. Anyway, one of the people watching these things go hurtling around was Ian Fleming when he was a little boy.
Yeah.
And he was there with his notepad and so on. And there was a bump where the Chitty used to take off. Now, it's not established fact, but he would have been watching this as a kid. He saw him flying along in his, with his tie. He was always 3-piece suit, always immaculately dressed, coiffured hairdo, looking very cool. And this car that flew over the bump, and that's the story of the flying car, Chitty Bang Bang.
Fantastic.
And that must have been what gave him the inspiration to write the book.
There you go, to write quite a boring book. Anyway, not your book. Anyway, it is customary.
I will educate this man.
I've tried. It doesn't work, Ben.
It really doesn't work. No, I go into full shutdown mode.
You do.
It's customary on the Autoalex podcast to shout out you guys who have been telling us where you're listening from. So, in no particular order, we have got Owetu, listening in South Africa. Deck the London bus driver. Liam on a car recovery. Instagrammer D4 stuck in traffic. Fellow YouTuber, who we both know, Sam, aka Hard Up Garage. Super Saab Claire, bored at home. Nomad on another AA shift. Dale stripping rims in Australia. Jessica in Edinburgh, heading to Autosport this weekend. Ryan from Yorkshire Car Restoration, currently working on Roger, my E30. Full restoration. Thank you, Ryan. I know it's very cold up north where you are. Please keep going. We have Lucas having eye surgery soon. Good luck, Lucas, from us. Lucas. And
if not, he's always got the podcast.
Oh, Rory. And do you want to read this one out?
To Rory's mum, Jackie.
Yeah! Rory's mum, Jackie.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Right, before we discuss what we've all been up to this week, Shedfest announcement. Are you coming to Shedfest? Do you know what Shedfest is?
I haven't been invited, but it sounds like the sort of place you'd hang out.
It is, yeah. So Shedfest is a celebration of the world's best and shittest shitboxes. So you could bring
Phyllis will be headlining, I presume.
Phyllis? Oh, for crying out loud.
What?
Yes, yeah, Phil.
Phyllis, isn't it?
Phil, it's just Phil.
Oh, the red one?
Yeah.
That hunk at the back?
The hunk. Yeah, okay.
Hunk of junk.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So please come to Shedfest, May the 4th, a celebration of shitboxes. Last year was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it?
Yep.
And we are going to have all of the world's best YouTubers and Ben Collins, published author.
Is the camber on those front wheels supposed to be that way round?
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's facing the wrong way.
So, fun fact about that car.
Christ,
he's installed suspension on it, changed a few things on the arms, I think. He's never done an alignment.
I don't need to.
And then, surprise, he took it around the Nürburgring and said it felt awful.
Yeah, no, but that's because my diff bushes are completely bugging. It's just slapping them out.
I think there may be some other things as well.
Yeah.
This is not a Manscaped commercial, is it?
No, it's definitely not. It is definitely
They've been
not.
popping up everywhere.
They really have, yeah.
It's a great sponsor.
It is.
And it's a great product.
Fantastic.
Have you?
What, shaved my bush?
Yeah.
I have been partial. Yeah. Rory? Have you ever shaved your bush?
Occasionally, yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to tune your bush, then you should get it aligned.
Yeah,
You should get it done by a professional.
Do you have a very aligned bush?
Yeah, if
Really?
you go to that, you want to get it on the flat patch and make sure everything's in equilibrium, the balance right. You don't want to. You don't want to take your fresh bush around the Nürburgring and find out that your differential is going to split half.
Okay, we're on that.
Yeah, speaking of shit boxes, you've arrived in one.
That's my wife's car.
Is it? It's a VW Transporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it?
When was the last time that was
kit.
washed?
Yeah,
yesterday.
No.
Shut up.
No.
Yeah, I live up a lane.
Do you live in a field?
Pretty much.
His lane is at the tip of Scotland and he had to come down here.
That is a great car. That VW is awesome.
So I actually invited Ben to bring his motor vehicle into the unit so everyone watching on YouTube could see it. But people listening with your ear holes, be thankful that you can't see it because it looks shit. It is so boring. I was expecting something a little bit interesting.
It's great. It's a four-wheel drive, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Actually, they laughed at me when I spec'd it. So I bought that new in 2010. And
that's TV money, isn't it?
I said I want a four-wheel drive, and
Yeah.
he said it's going to take you 2 months longer to get that. Why do you need that? I said I need it. And then literally a year after we got the car, it was when it snowed on the M1 was completely blocked. People were walking home. All the BMWs were stuck on any incline. No weight in the back. Rear wheel spinning. Couldn't go up a hill. Boom, four-wheel drive. Thanks very much.
Fantastic.
Got home.
There you are. And now you're soiling my unit.
I'm soiling your unit.
That Rory, we cleaned yesterday. We've had a whole reshuffle for you.
Have you?
This place looked like shit yesterday.
It looks great, and I'm really impressed with the new old 911.
Yeah,
it's great.
993.
I love it.
It's lovely.
Love a bit of burgundy.
Oh, fantastic.
It's very cool.
Just don't look too far because you may be able to then see where we just shoved everything.
Oh yeah, there's loads of shit up there you can't see.
I think it's great. This is like Batman's lair. It's in your man cave. Yeah. It's a very comfortable spot.
Tesco value Batman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, what have we all been up to? We're going to just basically discuss the last kind of 2 weeks or so, what we've been up to. Rory, do you want to get started?
Yes, we went to Wales, where we filmed the reveal of this Porsche 993. So
which they will see tomorrow.
It is? No, it's not tomorrow.
Yeah.
No.
This is going out next Wednesday, this podcast.
It will be tomorrow then, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But yeah, we got this Porsche 993 where we took it to... I can't even remember the name of it. But we tried to go to the Top
Penny
Gear.
Fan.
Yeah, Penny Fan, yeah.
We tried to go to Top Gear, the Black Mountain Pass, which, did you know they've now put average speed cameras of 40 miles an hour on it now?
They've gone. This country's just. I don't know what
It is
we're
shit,
doing.
isn't
Well,
it?
that's not our country. That's
Well,
another-
UK. Are we not all together? No.
No.
I think we are.
No.
I know. I'm sorry for everybody in Wales, but I think the 20-mile-per-hour virus.
God.
is
Oh, my
just
God.
mental.
Although we were doing so.
I've got to admit, so we were driving through, and I don't think anyone's doing the 20 miles an hour.
No, God, no. God, no.
No,
We
but when
certainly weren't, were we?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, the average speed, it's awful. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's just completely saps your concentration. It's less safe. People aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, 40 miles. It's not like they're even kept to because it was a 60 mile an hour national speed limit road. They've now lowered it by 20 miles an hour
Yeah.
and stuck average speed cameras
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
And just as an FYI, if in the YouTube video it looks like I'm doing more than 40 miles an hour, it's just editing. Like, we've got very expensive editing software that makes it probably look like it's about 60 or 70.
No, we flew over to Mexico.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and then we
yeah,
did like some
yeah.
CGI stuff.
It's a double for Wales.
Yeah, we recreated Wales
Yeah.
in a little small part of
We
Mexico.
AI'd the shit out of it,
yeah,
didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And then we filmed it.
Something needs to be done because I mean London is where this all started, and now it's absolutely miserable trying to get around in London.
But then Top Gear ruined everything for Wales and like driving.
Did they?
Yeah, because everyone's going to the Top Gear roads now.
So you think it's Top Gear's fault?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm partly holding you to blame actually for this. So yeah, thanks very much, Ben.
Really?
Yeah,
You
fantastic.
brought me up
having
here
you.
just to abuse me.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have a little rant.
Yeah, a little
rant.
bit, a little rant. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you throw a few rabbit punches, and then I'll knock you out later.
Fantastic. God, we should film that. That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anything else, Rory? It just says cleaned up the unit. We've already kind of touched upon.
Yeah, well, we did only film the podcast 3 days ago.
Yeah,
So,
we did. Yeah.
No,
And then I
there's-
spoke to Ben. I was like, do you want to go on our podcast? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, shit, we've actually got to do this now,
Yeah,
don't we?
yeah.
Yeah. As for me, I went to Wales, been driving my Porsche.
Yep.
It is very good. 202,000 miles on that thing.
Mega.
Very, very robust. And I did kind of kick its head in quite a lot. And it's fantastic. It sounds so good, doesn't it?
It sounds really good. Oh. But there is one thing you don't like on that car a lot.
It is the position of the pedals. So they are like far to the left. So you're always like mincing your balls with your right leg. And then I got a bit of rigor mortis in my back the other day and it hurts a little bit.
You've got issues, haven't you?
I do have quite a few issues. Yeah. Mum dropped me at birth. But yeah, it's just the seating position is just a bit shit.
It's interesting. I need to hop in it. Is
You
it
do?
manual?
Yes, of course it's manual.
Well,
Is it manual? Yeah. 6-speed as well.
Okay.
6-gear
It's a
speed.
lot of gears.
That is
Without
a
a
lot of
turbo,
gears.
that's a lot of gears.
Yeah, it is, but it's fantastic.
And when you bought that,
Yeah.
how did you check it? Did you look inside? I mean, because there's always a danger someone's downshifted it, over-revved it. Did you
Yeah.
check it?
Yeah, I was like, is this a good car? And he was like, yes. I was like, I will take your word.
How many owners?
Yes.
My impression is that you're good at this.
No.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Do you just spin the wheel?
No, he's
Yeah.
terrible at it. But luckily he has a YouTube channel where he can then create content off
Okay.
his terrible
Exactly,
decisions.
yeah. I make terrible financial mistakes because I know it'll come good in the end.
But you've probably got a good deal on that. I mean, high mileage 993.
Yeah,
I'm
do
not
you-
asking you what you paid because that'd be
No,
rude, but
that is actually quite rude that he's asking.
I'm
you.
not asking
Yeah,
you.
no,
I
that's
don't,
quite
I don't
rude.
want to know.
That's quite rude.
But I would imagine that it was a good deal.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
particularly if you didn't even ask how many owners.
So I think we can probably reveal what would a good one of those go for?
So-
like a low mileage one.
So I paid 75 for that.
What?
What? Why is he laughing? Why is he laughing?
You sod off. How much? Not 7,500.
No.
75? No. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
What do you mean no?
It's not.
It's a 993. It's the last of the air cooled.
It really isn't it worth. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to react like that.
That's really hard. No, I didn't pay 75. I paid 40,000 for it.
That's all right. I feel a bit better now. Oh, for a minute,
That was quite rude. That actually just.
Although-
yeah.
A good one of those does go for about 60 grand.
I'm. This is. I'm
This is a good
ignoramus.
one.
Don't know.
No, yours is...
This is a very good one.
Yours was slower than a E46
Oh,
330i
shut
manual
up.
touring.
No, it
It
wasn't.
was. You couldn't keep up with
Race
me
me,
or
bro.
Taylor.
Race
You
me.
couldn't
Shut-
keep
what
up
are you
with
on
it.
about?
We were going 40 miles an hour and you couldn't keep up with our 40 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
you got up to 40 so quickly, didn't you? And I couldn't keep up. So I paid 40 for that.
Okay, there you go.
I would value it at 50 or 55.
Okay.
Genuinely, yeah.
Well,
They do
I'm
go for
into
about
it.
60, 65 with lower mileage, obviously.
It is funny because these cars, they drop off, they come back, or they
Yeah.
don't come back.
So about 2 years ago, that would have been worth about 60.
Okay.
And then the market has just shat itself and then it's going back up again.
Good.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. The market
keep
is
telling
so
yourself.
strong at the moment. That car is worth £100,000, Ben.
But you're going to enjoy it.
I am
that's
gonna
the best
enjoy it.
part. And
I am
because it's
gonna
high
enjoy it.
mileage, you're going to use the car. Because what's the point otherwise? Because I've got a turbo, 997, which is great, a manual, so I love it.
Yep.
And it's now I'm just realised. I looked at the mileage. I'm like, wow, I'm about to click past 100k.
Oh,
So
you should sell it. 1,500 quid?
keep enjoying it.
Maybe we'll have to do a video where you drive Ben's and then Ben drives yours.
No, I know what he drives like, though. He's a maniac.
Yeah, no, that's
He's a
why it'd be
maniac.
good. Though.
You'll be doing
Always.
reverse J-turns in it and everything.
That was quite funny.
It was quite funny. That was a few years ago.
I don't think my car would like it, but it's got the handbrake, so you can do that stuff.
Okay, all right. Challenge accepted. Anyway, Ben, what have you been up to for the last couple of weeks?
What I've been doing.
Or what's exciting in your life at the moment?
Well, this whole YouTube thing, I am loving it.
Yeah?
So watch what you guys have done, and from when you were Car Throttle and getting involved with things like that. So I completely missed the whole YouTube movement when I was top gearing. So I thought it was all snooty times on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Making movies and stuff, and just it kind of passed me by really, and sort of as it's gone on, and actually particularly getting to meet you lot and see what it's like, it's just been a breath of fresh air. So it's really fun, and it's just being able to go out and do lots of different things I enjoy doing, reviewing cars, getting into F1 cars. It's just this great sort of calling card to go and jump in cool stuff and have fun.
So what does a week in Ben Collins' life look like?
At the moment, I'm doing a lot of planning. So I've been editing stuff, so I've been trying to get my podcast more regular. So I've been doing some cool interviews.
What's
So
the podcast called? Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's called Some Say.
it's called Some Say. I was just getting slightly trapped on Ben Collins Drives, which is the YouTube channel. Some Say is the podcast.
Rory, I can attest it's an age thing.
Right.
We forget things. Yeah. Especially
Well,
when you're in your 60s.
You keep that up, you're not going to live long, so it doesn't really make a difference.
I've already promised Rory I'm not going to see 40, so I think you're quite happy
And that's
with that,
only
aren't you?
next year.
This
That is
could-
only next year, yeah.
Enjoy it, because this could be your last day. Yeah,
I'll take it. I mean, I'll spend it with you. That's a good way to go out.
there you go. Make it a fun one. No, 'cause, yeah, I've got to meet really interesting people. So last one was Andy Green. The man who broke the land speed records, broke the sound barrier in a car,
Mad.
technically a car.
Yeah.
And I was always fascinated in him because I'd read about him. I'd always wanted to be a fighter pilot. He was the real thing, proper daredevil. But watching the onboard camera stuff, I could see. I've felt from my career of doing what I've done, I could identify someone who was desperately wrangling that beast at ridiculous speeds. And so, and he's so professional. It took me ages to really sort of get through and sort of for him to acknowledge that yes, there was a danger element, and actually he did lose sleep over it, and that it was a big challenge to heave it around at some. He was saying around 500, 600 miles an hour, the tail was starting to really wag around, and I couldn't figure out how to control it with the steering.
Wow.
So he created a completely new technique to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that was really fascinating to get
What
his
speed
insight.
did he get up to in that?
I think the top speed, I'll get this, Robert, 771 mile an hour. I think it was a lower number was the record because you have to go both directions.
Oh, yeah, of course,
But his
yeah.
his peak speed was not far off 800 miles an hour, which is
Wow.
outrageous.
Wow. If he were to phone you up one day and say, Ben, I need you to break my record,
Yeah.
would you consider it?
No. Absolutely. This unhesitatingly no. There's no way.
Okay.
Do
Do you think you would have considered it 10 years ago?
we'd entertain the thought, and you'd be complimented to even be considered to do something like that because it's such a serious task. But his when I met him, I realised I think there's nobody else that could have done it.
Okay.
So he got a first in maths. He's got an engineering head. He's been a test pilot. He can process the speeds, but it's also the way in which he operated within that team to make it happen, where you had to be able to interpret all the different engineering systems, the engineers, what they're saying, feedback the right information at the right time, and the calmness. If you listen to his voice, the fighter pilot patter,
Yeah.
it's like cruising at 16,000, all that, whilst it's doing really dangerous stuff. And also to be able to identify what could be a problem, and then the sheer balls to do it.
Yeah.
That
He's
is
got it
quite
all.
because I've just looked because I wasn't sure how quick. So in Hammond's incident with his top speed car, that was only doing 320 miles an hour.
That's cute, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So that is and look how fast that looks. Like this is a whole nother
Yeah.
realm of speed, isn't it? Yeah.
The speed thing's really interesting. I've been obsessing slightly about the 90s and hypercars and all these things, and I was really lucky to get to drive at high speed. The McLaren F1 did this drag race it was me versus Hammond, and he was in the Bugatti Veyron, which was having a really bad time because we were in, which country was it now? UAE, in Abu Dhabi, and it was overheating, and the F1 was just like, thanks very much, naturally aspirated, let's go.
Yeah.
So clutch start versus four-wheel drive, 1,000 horsepower versus what's the McLaren got? Is it 600?
It's
Or
about
less.
that, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's about that.
And it whipped it off the line,
Yeah.
which was amazing, just with the rear wheels. But once you got past 135, 140, it went incredibly light. And by the time we got closer to 200, you could have spun it with one finger. It was so light on aero.
Jeez.
So yeah, you talk about these speeds. Everything becomes very aerodynamic, very quickly at those speeds. And the Bugatti is just nails. It compresses into the ground, and you feel utterly safe. And that will do 250, and it's like a walk in the park. But
You've done what did you do in a Bugatti?
So in the Bugatti Veyron Supersport, I got up to 222 miles an hour, and that was on the day of the launch of the world launch of the Chiron. So Bugatti took the Chiron and the Veyron to the Nürburgring.
do you call it the Chiron? Are you a He-Man fan or something?
Chiron.
Chiron.
But you call it the Chiron.
I don't know. It's just
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were at the launch.
English is my fifth language, so yeah, I don't quite understand. I was at launch, and Bugatti actually gave me the world exclusive passenger ride of the Chiron.
Yeah.
And as part of that, they brought along the Veyron Supersport for me to experience and to drive. And yeah, went down on the Autobahn, and the top brass, I can't remember who he was, did like 228. And then on the way back, I did 222. And then they took me out in the Chiron. And that was very, very fun. But that is the fastest I've ever driven on a public road. And that was, 222.
Oh, on a public road.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
on the Autobahn. Yeah.
Oh,
that was
mega.
good. Yeah, that was really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So,
is
that,
different.
I
was
imagine
really
that must be an even different realm of speed, that is, because you're not on a closed-off track doing that speed.
No, and you are overtaking lorries.
Yeah.
At like 150, 160 more miles an hour. And you go so fast, like over 200 miles an hour is so fast that the dividing line turns into one line.
So in Germany, would you have got, realistically, if police had saw you doing that, would you, because I know there technically is no speed limit, but would they have pulled you over for like dangerous driving at that point?
No, I'd have outrun them. They wouldn't have had a chance.
But what is there?
I don't know. I mean, there is no speed limit, but what does that exactly mean?
You
There was
can
a
be
case
done
a
for
few years
dangerous
ago.
driving.
Yeah.
If you do something dangerous, they can ping you out. But generally, the great thing about Germany is that speed limit instills and enforces a sensibility in people to look in the mirrors.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
expect you to move.
Yeah.
Everybody's much more switched on as a result. And this is
Yeah.
the thing where, say these artificially low speed limits are more dangerous.
Yes.
Pedestrians are more likely to step into the road.
Yeah.
People are less likely to pay attention. They'll start texting.
Exactly right. You'll be
So-
on your phone at 20 miles an hour because nothing will happen. in
People on the
inverted commas.
Autobahn aren't texting when they
No.
don't know speeds. They're concentrating. And,
Yeah, they're swiping.
They're swiping.
Well, that's because they know they can get home about an extra half an hour
Exactly,
earlier if they
yeah.
just focus on driving.
Exactly
to
right.
that point.
Yeah. It's like riding a motorbike. It's very difficult to text while riding a motorbike. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Very difficult. Right, before we continue, a shout out to this week's podcast sponsor, Febby Bilstein, our friends Febby Bilstein, who make OE matching quality parts. And you also get a 3-year guarantee with them. So if you go to Euro Car Parts or wherever you like to buy your car parts, then make sure you look out for Febby Bilstein. We've used their parts for 6-7 months now, and
Yep.
we can't speak highly enough about them. On Roger, Big Pete, it's pretty much been fully reconstructed thanks to Febby Bilstein. So like I said, look out for Febby Bilstein because we really, really rate them. Anyway, Ben,
Yarp.
I asked my followers on Instagram for some quick fire questions. Are you
family members mostly?
Yeah. Oh well, that would only be one question. My mum. Yeah, she was like, "Who is Ben Collins?" The Stig.
She's German.
She is German.
Is she?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So she knows the Nordschleife then, and the.
Oh, she does. Oh, yeah, intimately.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's driven it every day. of
So
her
you're
life.
going back to your roots when you go back there.
I am. Yeah.
that is
It's
awesome.
nice. Yeah. Anyway, let's not get distracted here. So, question 1: have you ever got away with speeding because you're the Stig? And that's from Jordan.
Yes, Jordan, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Numerous times.
What?
Yeah. Oh, many times. No, sorry. Are we talking about like being? Hang on.
Being pulled over?
Being pulled
by
over
the
as
police?
Ben? You mean?
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't. No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, but you were pulled over while filming Top
Yes.
Gear
In the Stig.
in the
As
Stig outfit.
yes.
Okay, so-
Stig gets pretty much a free pass.
Is that because you were just sitting there just in silence because you were trying to keep character and you were just like,
I did talk to them because you need to communicate with the police. It's
So here is a former Top Gear top tip. If you get pulled over, or if you want to drive recklessly, just wear a full white suit with a white helmet, and then just say you're the Stig, and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
So I remember, I think vaguely, there was a scene where I think they were building what's the kit car that they
Caterham?
were the Caterham, and you were driving, and
That's
I think right at the end there's a scene where you were trying to get there, but then you were pulled over by the police.
Well, the irony was that I had been pulled over by the police on that trip. So we started in Kent. We went all the way up to Scotland to get to Knockhill. So the boys were trying to construct Caterham, and I had a whole one that had been ready made, and the door flew off. I think it was at whatever speed I was doing.
Well, like the actual whole door came off.
The door came off. It went
wow.
It was rattling a bit, and I thought, well, I should probably deal with that, and I didn't. And then it just went woof. So the canvas door flew off, and then the blue lights came on, and I pulled over. And they sort of walked up and they were smiling, which was a good start.
Yeah.
And they said, you seem to have left something behind. And I said, oh, thank you very much. What's your name, please? And I said, the Stig. And that was that. They thought that was hilarious. They left me alone. I said, thanks for the door. And they didn't book me. So that's fine.
Oh, that's amazing.
So they cracked on. And then we had the sort of slightly staged one up at the... Yeah.
So that was slightly staged, yeah.
But usually, I mean, the police are brilliant. And generally,
Yeah.
working with us all the time with Top Gear. So when Clarkson and the co went from Turin to London, I then got the Bugatti and drove back to get the shots.
Yep.
We went to go and get shots around London. Police turned up. What are you doing? And we would have permits and things. And usually, I think they had permits. And the director came over. So I've spoken to the police. I said, what's the crack? And they said, yeah. They just said, make sure he gives it some. So that was it.
Really?
And we cracked on, and we had the Italians on side with the
yes.
French. So you were operating in a sort of bubble of permission.
Yeah.
And that kind of worked. But no, I've not used the Stig
So
card.
that bubble of permission doesn't extend to Ben Collins.
Sadly not. It doesn't.
Have you
I
tried?
wished it did.
Have you tried? Maybe on the way home in your big old Transporter.
Yeah,
you could do like 72, 73, see if you get pulled over.
That thing's hauls, I'm telling you.
Does it?
It's not slow.
Like, how quick can you do that?
That would do, I think it's capable of about 135.
What, in the UK? What,
making
M40? Are we talking M40?
Is that what you like to get it on?
No. What?
What?
Right, next question.
I do 70.
Officer. Next question. What is the closest near-death experience you've ever had? And that's from Daniel J. Hosian. So it doesn't have to be cars. It could be you tripped and you split your head open.
Oh.
Have you had any like near misses in life?
I don't think so, touch wood.
Oh, here you go. Not.
No.
He went for one head. Yeah.
No, I mean, racing, you get a few big hits doing that. I don't think of them as being that close to anything too serious. So, no, not really.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
I mean, you get it, and obviously in the movie making, but that's the whole point of that is you try to anticipate what could and is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think no, you try and anticipate. That's
Well, maybe today's your lucky day.
could be.
So I'm just going to quickly add another one in. Do you ever miss racing at all?
I do. I mean, I love it. Absolutely obsessional with it, and I'm very glad I got back into it. So I had a couple of years sort of out of it. Then been racing for Praga for the last 2 years, and it's so much fun because the cars are really agile. They're back to sort of that real physicality you get with a single seater. But they're not. I mean, it's a single driver machine. They're kind of like small versions of Le Mans prototypes, which is just the best racing.
Same series that Jimmy Broadbent.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not going to talk about go-karting or anything, are we?
You're welcome to.
I completely dominated Ben, like smashed him to pieces. He didn't stand a chance. There's a picture actually on the wall there
with me leading.
with you, you leading for what was it, like 5 or 6 seconds, and then you were holding me up, and then you had to let me pass because I was breathing.
Bless
down
you.
your neck. Yeah.
That you would even
I didn't sneeze.
Put that on the wall actually. It's sort of a family child style go kart putt.
Yeah.
15 miles an hour max.
That's the
speed.
day I overtook Dad.
The entire track was flat out.
No, you said
there was
you
no
li-
skill
you said-
required.
you said lifted.
There was a lift in one corner.
No, not for me. There wasn't. I anticipated the corner.
Unfortunately, there was no weight bias and ballasting. So yeah.
I mean,
Get
what are
me
you,
that.
like 60 kilos?
I wish I was 60 kilos. I'm about 90.
Oh, bloody hell. okay.
It doesn't help in a go kart.
Well, it must be your heavy balls.
It must be. I'm sure. No, I'm not very good in a go kart. I'm all right. I mean, but you need the higher speed stuff. Once you get to 2-stroke and you can get a bit of power down.
Yeah.
I love it. They're really fun. But those
Wicked.
things, they're just a bit pedestrian.
Okay. All right.
So you would be good at it.
Okay, oh, well, thank you. Were any of the Stig's cousins actually you? And
Yes.
that's from Rory.
Yes,
Are they
Rory.
really?
Yeah.
I always
So
thought
the American
okay.
cousin and was it the Japanese or the?
Yeah, I always wondered whether there was some that like the American one. Was it just you with some padding in the suit to make you look fat?
So I was offered the I was offered the
I was offered the
American
role.
yeah, I was offered the role.
That's what he's dreamt for his whole life.
We were talking about it, and so I was obviously busy with racing, with Top Gear stuff, and they're like, "Oh, there's a shoot coming up. It's in America, and we would like you to be the American Stig." But the idea, you'd have to wear a fat suit.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, cool, great." And you would need to drive like not normal speed. Like you're going to be slower and do this. And I was like, "Oh, sod that."
Yeah.
And it was going to be a 36-hour round trip. I'm going to fly out, put a fat suit on, and drive badly. So I thought, let a local take it.
Fair, okay.
But the others, my favourite, I did Green Stig with the,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the Birkenstocks on. That was quite funny. And the German Stig with the mullets. That was a fantastic trip. We got to drive those amazing cars around Lausitz Ring, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was a good trip. What else was there?
Was there the karate Stig?
No,
Oh.
that's definitely
That
not
wasn't
me.
you, no.
Actually, and also not much known, but I did a little bit of time as the Black Stig before the White Stig emerged.
Oh, really?
So in 2002, did a bit of that, which
Yeah.
is quite cool. So that was
So that was McCarthy. Perry McCarthy. So they kept that black suit for you for a short time.
So actually during his reign,
Yeah.
I did a bit of that. So I had my own suit and a helmet, and was doing bits and pieces, but not very much. See,
Yeah,
he did the majority of that. That was his time, and then I then started properly with the Stig in the white suit in 2003. Rocked up. They had a terrible suit they got. This thing from Jay's. It was too small. It was tight in all the wrong places.
I think they were just trying to tell you something.
Maybe they just wanted a midget. I don't know. So
I was too young at the time.
you were too young. I got rid of that suit, got an Alpine Stars job, and the rest was history.
Yeah. What was it, 7 years or so you did?
8 years in
8
total.
years.
Yeah, left. Well, so early 2003 till end of 2010.
Oh, fantastic. All right, next question. Have you met any of the other Stigs who worked on Top Gear before or after you?
Yes,
and that's
I
from
have.
Leon Whiteman.
Yeah, Leon. I've met Perry. I enjoyed his book as well. Flat Out, Flat Broke. Give him a little nudge for that. It's great. It's really entertaining, and Perry is hilarious. And then the Stig that took over from me, I know him, and his name's. I shouldn't say that.
No, sorry. What was his name again? I just.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, someone told me who he was, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And now I've just forgotten his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just really frustrating. I like tell people I know who he is, but I just don't know who he is. Yeah. But so his name is never going to come out.
I don't know. Could do.
It's up to him, is
I
it?
could say now.
You could do.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't tell on another
He could get a
Stig.
book deal and everything,
I hope he does.
and then become a #1 published author.
I don't know if that's his goal in life. And also, what's happening? Because where is Top Gear? It's sort of stopped.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened. I hope they're still feeding the Stig.
Yeah. It's feeding
know,
the Stig.
they
Well, he's
just
probably just
forgot.
sleeping upside down, though, isn't he? So he should be all right.
I went to Dunsfold last week to try and check on him, but I couldn't see him.
Oh, really? What's the Stig calling card? Do you have some weird
It's like a
guttural
duck
noises?
caller. You make you get one of those high pitched sounds.
Okay, go on.
And they all run in.
Yeah. What's? Do it.
I just you have to be.
Oh, I just didn't hear it. I've got a gammy right here, so
It's a special sound.
it's a special sound. Okay, of all the celebs who you helped coach around the track, who was the most natural and who was the worst? And that's from Mopey Hippo.
The most natural was, I think, so I'd say there's a tie between Jennifer Saunders,
Really?
which is a really
she a natural?
She was really fast.
Oh, wow.
But then I don't know how many track days she's done, but maybe none. I didn't ask her, but she was really very, very naturally talented, very fast. She set fastest time, and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Oh, yeah. He was very good, wasn't he?
He's brilliant, and also able to process, to learn,
Yeah,
and improve. He was fantastic. But I think, and the ultimate fastest was Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
So Ronnie, I'm ready for the next one. We should upgrade, get out of that Suzuki, and we'll get in something decent.
Yeah. Like Phil?
Does he listen to your podcast?
Probably not.
All right.
No. Does he
So-
listen to yours?
I'm sure he does.
Okay. Well, if he listens to yours, he
Yeah.
probably won't listen to ours. And the second half of the question, who's the worst?
Oh,
No, not the worst. Potentially the least talented because their talents lie elsewhere.
yeah, that's fair. So what, do you want the worst driver? Or-
Yeah. Or the one with the worst natural talent?
Was there anyone that you felt unsafe being in the passenger seat?
Good question.
Well, the comedians generally were fairly unsafe, I would say. They didn't. There's just, but yeah, I mean Jimmy Carr, who's hilarious. But I don't know that anything you said to him went in.
Oh, really?
He really didn't. He just was laughing the entire time. If the car was spinning backwards, he was just laughing. He was spinning wildly. So it was sort of, you were just ballast, really. And
Okay.
I don't know what was going on. There was like a world of things happening in his mind. It had nothing to do with driving.
No,
but
okay.
he was an absolute crack.
He
But
was probably thinking about offshore bank accounts.
he was untrainable. I think he needed a whip.
Okay, all right, that's good. Scariest car you've ever driven, Andrew?
Okay, good question. I mean, I've never been frightened by a car.
Really?
No, I mean, they're not scary.
You haven't tried hard enough.
I mean, they're fun. And actually, the angrier they are, the more fun in a way, or to a point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the worst handling cars was the TVR. That's sort of, because they're beguiling. So that, I mean, I think what you would say is alarming is when a car doesn't do what you expect it to do. And the TVR was full of that. It was amazing. You touch the brakes and they'd lock the tires and you think, how is that happening? It's happening at much, you feel like there's more grip than there is, which is unusual. And then you turn the steering wheel and it wants to spin. You think, really, at this speed, it's not stable. So it was very unpredictable to drive. And I think that's probably something that's hard to get used to.
All right. Next one is quite a funny one. This is from Mike K. What's the coolest personal car you've ever written off?
Well, the Toyota Supra, sadly.
Which generation?
I'm not good at that. That one there, the one on the wall.
4.
Oh, so yeah, the Supra that everyone is thinking about.
Yeah.
The lovely one, the big whale tail.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Was it a turbo?
It wasn't actually. It was a Japanese import with a limiter on it because they're all limited at 120.
Yeah.
And so it did have less power, but
Manual
actually
or
not-
auto?
Manual.
Okay, good.
It was awesome.
We were going to have to cut it if you said auto.
No, manual. It was a wicked car, and it was so much fun. But on a wet road, even with those big tires, and it had no ABS, it was absolutely raw.
Yeah.
And so even without the turbos, you lose about 80 horsepower or something, but it still had a thumping amount of torque, and it was a ton of fun.
Did you do a proper job on it?
Excuse me. Yes. I was doing something I was going far too fast.
When
on a
was
lane.
this? A while ago?
98.
98. Wow. Okay.
And anyway, there was the farm had been crossing the road. I hit this clay, and then literally there was a truck coming around the other side.
Oh,
and
shit.
Straight into that.
Oh.
Did it completely. So all the engine and gearbox came back this way. I had to sort of kick the door open.
Really?
And I didn't feel very nice afterwards.
I bet you didn't.
I was very apologetic.
From Reese Peck, what made you want to reveal yourself as the Stig? I'm sure you get asked this so many times.
It's a good question because I never wanted it to end. So I went to every possible length not to reveal my identity for years. It was so entrenched in me because I just love what I was doing.
Because before you carry on we did a Car Throttle podcast a few years ago, didn't we? And in that you said that you had to keep your identity secret from your family. Like no one knew.
Well,
who
knew?
knew? Who knew at the time?
So initially, nobody, just two people. So my boss, Andy Willman, who hired me,
Yeah.
and then Jim Wiseman, who was one of the young producers at the time.
And what about your wife?
Well, I
Or
wasn't
girlfriend
married
at the
then.
time?
So no, I just didn't tell anyone. I just cracked on. After about a year, I told my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and but beyond that, the tighter you keep it, the easier it's going to be to manage.
Yeah.
And you don't know who you've told, and someone will tell their mate, my mate's on TV, all that stuff.
Was that because of the fear of once it was out, you thought you might be then out of a job because that would be
100%.
Yeah.
My understanding was once your identity is out, you'll be fired.
Yeah.
No one said it as bluntly as that, but it seemed to be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So yes, I used to wear a balaclava to work. I used to hide all my credit cards. Anything with a name on it would hide it.
Well, did your credit card say the Stig?
It's no, but kind of, if someone roots through your stuff, see, because where you get changed, had to get changed in the porter cabin, and there was always a chance someone would go in there, and I thought, this is taking it too far. You're being a bit paranoid, but sure enough, Sunday Times got in, went through my stuff, and there was nothing in. I was like, I'm glad I thought of that, and so they did a thing, and he has size 10 feet. That's all they could say.
Really?
So I was very cautious, but as time went on, more and more people were aware, and then you have to do this bureaucracy. You have to sign forms. Someone said you have to sign at the track, and I said, can I just write the Stig? No, you have to put your real name. Like, this is not a good idea. And then in the end of it, I think by the time I left, there's about 120 people at the B alone who knew who I was. So it had
That's
started.
tough, yeah.
So it goes around, and then
Yeah.
it was people were aware, and then unfortunately the Radio Times, which is a BBC outlet, published this big thing. Who is the Stig? The nation needs to know. And inside they revealed it was me. So that really didn't help.
No.
And at that point, I sort of felt that the time was kind of up, and I started to hear these rumours that were quite, being, well, not rumours, that were, it was kind of written on the wall that my time was coming to an end. So I decided to leave at that point, rather than get a P45 in the post.
Indeed, and here we are today. Sam West writes, who's a better driver, you or Chris Harris? Wounder.
Well,
Have
Chris
you ever
Harris-
gone against Chris Harris on a racetrack?
We should.
You should.
Actually, yes, I have.
Okay.
So Chris is a friend of mine, and he's a fantastic journalist, and he also drives. And so we bless him. He's been on a track with me. He got thrown in at the deep end in this series called ASCAR, which the Americans think is hilarious because they have NASCAR.
Yeah.
And when I won this championship, and I go
Well, ASCAR or NASCAR?
ASCAR. So I went to America with my CV, and I did some driving out there. And you're saying, there's no way to pronounce it. And they go, you won ASCAR? Anyway, Chris got chucked in, and they're pretty serious bits of kit to be jumped in. And so he's at Rockingham. You're achieving 180 miles an hour. It's really, really fast.
Yeah.
And he'd never done anything like it before. And he came up to me and said, what am I doing? What is this? I'm doing this thing for Autocar. I've been thrown it. I haven't got
that was
clue
Autocar days.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I was talking to him. I said, if you lift off in the straights, it will spin because the diff is offset to try and push you into the corner. I was trying to give him some tips, left foot braking, do this, do that. And he did really well. I mean, he got chucked in, did really well. I think he finished, he finished for a start, which was great. But I think it would have been a terrifying experience because there was people just thundering past him all the time. So, I mean, I've been racing for 20 odd years, and if I can't beat someone who's being chucked in at the deep end, then this, I'm not doing my job. So I think he's done incredibly well, and he's now been racing. I think he's been finishing in the top 8 in GT. Mm-hmm. So he's doing his stuff. But I was a Stig for a reason. I can turn a lap time, and obviously I would be up for standing toe to toe with anybody.
So you'd thrash him because he's shit. Is that essentially what you're saying?
I'd kick his ass.
Kick his ass. Okay, we've got that soundbite right.
Yep.
Oh, maybe I should phone Chris Harris. Maybe he'll pick up this time.
Phone Chris.
He will never pick up.
He won't answer. What? Yeah, let's get him on the line.
No, go on.
Dial him up.
Where's my phone?
He's tried this before and he didn't pick up.
Right.
But that was because he was away somewhere.
Sorry, everybody. Just bear with me. Can we have some background music, please, Rory?
Dum 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 dum.
Right, hold on. This is a new phone, so it's all very difficult for me.
That's because you've
Hold
switched
on.
to a branded phone rather than an
Yeah,
unbranded
okay,
phone.
what's his name? It's Chris.
It's Chris. Yeah,
Right,
well
hold
done.
on. CHRIS. Chris Harris, there we go.
Yep.
I'm nervous.
He's not going to pick up. He never picks up to you. He
this.
never
Won't pick
picks
up.
up.
He's busy.
Watch this.
He's big. He's a big deal.
Right, watch this.
He never picks
Right,
up.
here we go. If he picks up, I'm literally going to shit myself. He messaged me last time.
Hello.
Hello, Chris. It's Alex Kirsten. How you doing?
Oh fuck! Hello. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Sorry for phoning you randomly out of the blue. I've actually got Ben Collins here. And
Hi, Chris.
Oh right. So it's a fucking gang up job.
We're currently filming the Autoalex podcast, on which I would love to have you as a guest one day. And I just asked him a question: who's a better driver, you or Chris Harris? And his words were, "I would kick his ass." So I just thought, why don't I try and phone Chris just for shits and giggles? Because you never pick up. And fuck me, here we are.
No, that's fine. So I'm just driving back from now. In a prototype or something like that, yeah, he'd duff me up because he's a racing driver. But if you put me on a loose surface in a rally car, he wouldn't see where I'd gone.
Excellent. I'd love that, Chris. Because actually, I haven't done any rallying, so let's get that on. We've got the right cars for it as well.
No, it's fine. I've got a lovely Mark II Escort gravel spec. You can drive that. I've got an E30 M3 rally car. So yeah, because when I was a civilian, I remember watching Ben. I think it's 2001 Le Mans, and he was in the night time. He was absolutely the mustard. He was so quick, and fair play to him. He's not dined out on it in many interviews. I think I've read it about about how quick he was that night. But the fact is, he was really quick. But there's a lot of reasons why. We haven't got time to go into them. but his schooling wasn't ideal, and he's got some problems there. But the fact is, he is very, very quick in a prototype, and anyone that tells you otherwise is lying. I wouldn't even try and get close to him in one of those.
Oh, thanks, Chris. I was just telling Alex about your time in ASCAR on an oval, and what a ridiculous situation to be chucked into when you were doing that.
Hideous. All of that stuff. But the thing about being a journeyman journalist is that I never wanted to be a racing driver. I'm not a racing driver. The only time I ever really fell out with the BBC early on was when they'd say racing driver and journalist. I go, I'm not a racing driver. I'm a journalist who's done a bit of racing. And I was all right towards the end, but no, you're a racing driver. So and you're absolutely welcome to that super cake. You've earned it.
Thank you. Well, listen, can I? I'd love to go out and make a tit of myself on a rally stage.
You should
let's
do
get that on.
You should do that.
I worked out too late that if you want to be, you can blag motor racing anyway. You can blag circuit racing. If you want to work for a magazine or Autocar or whatever, you'll get offers to go and do a bit of Carrera Cup or this and that. That's all free. No one offers rallying because it's so expensive and so attritional. So if you want to go and skid stuff about on the loose, you have to pay for it, and it's very, very expensive. Very expensive.
But it's okay because you're going to pay for it, right?
We'll get a sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, Alex, given that you must be earning about £70 million a month on your channel, I think you can pay for it, mate.
All right.
Yeah, fair. No, you're right, actually, yeah.
Right, I'm just driving through Bournemouth in my M5 touring is about to click over 129,000 miles.
Boom.
And I'm heading back to the West Country. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers,
Thank
Chris.
you, and cheers for picking
Take
up.
care.
I won't bother you for another 5 years. Cheers.
No, you're more than welcome to. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Well, fuck me.
There you go, you see? He's a good bloke.
And there you go, Ben. I've just set up a brilliant YouTube series for you, and Rory and I will just stay here.
Yeah.
and just
Oh, no,
clean up.
you are going to be racing on gravel as
I
well.
fucking am
Oh,
not. I
yes,
wasn't
you are.
invited. He was invited.
No, that sounded like you pay for it all.
Yeah, no, he said, "I'm paying for it."
Yeah, and then you host both of them.
I think you should. Yeah, you should. You could organise this.
If you would like to see that, then email in at
Podcast at autoalexcars.com.
or leave a comment below because this is also a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But oh my God, he picked up.
picked up.
It's because you're here.
Well-
He can sense your aura.
There we go. And he's rocking around in that V10 of his, which is quite cool.
That is very, very cool. I'm such a fan. Okay, and final quick fire question, which I think is fantastic, from Brian Pope. Alex, Taylor, Rory, shag, marry, kill. Go.
Wow.
Alex, shag, marry, kill.
Oh,
Come on.
kill.
Oh, Taylor?
Marry.
Yeah. And he wants to shag you.
Oh,
You're
go
getting
on.
shagged.
This
Ben,
is the thing.
I'll
It's a
see you
process of
later,
elimination, isn't it? Yeah, all right.
Fantastic. Lovely. Okay, we're going to move the podcast on now. Remember, before the podcast, we said to you 20 questions is a game that we like to play.
Yep.
So Ben has thought, hopefully, of a car that we need to guess within 20 questions, and Ben can only answer those questions with a yes or no answer. So, Ben, have you got the car?
Yes.
And what is it?
You're going to have to try and find out, aren't you?
Yes.
He's trying.
So
I was trying.
So you got 19 to go.
That is fair. That is fair.
No, because he didn't answer with a yes or no question.
I
What
answered
is it? You can't answer with a yes or no question.
Right, no.
Yes, fuck you.
That's so 19.
What? If I say what
No.
is it, you can't say no.
No,
that's two questions
To
now.
be fair,
Jesus
it was
Christ.
it was
You're 18 to go.
It was your own fault.
Right,
You
your
asked-
turn. Shut up.
Is it European?
No.
Is it American?
No.
Is it Japanese?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right, 15 left. Are you going to count? Because I've got
Yeah,
our
right,
fingers.
okay.
Okay, 15. So it's Japanese.
Yep.
Is it a Toyota?
No.
Is it a Subaru?
What do I get, by the way, if you can't figure it out?
Or well, you can have that night with Rory. That was a precursor to what was going to happen.
No.
Mazda.
No.
Rory, we're running out of Japanese cars.
Honda.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is it a sports car?
Yes. 10 to go.
All right. He's so aggressive. I love it.
Is
Honda
it
sports car.
is it an NSX?
No.
Is it a Del Sol?
No.
Maybe we need to narrow this down. Is it rear wheel drive?
No.
Oh, is it an Integra Type R?
No.
So we need to just regroup here for a second,
Okay,
all right?
okay.
Six to go.
Okay.
6 to go.
All right, we get that. We get that.
And then I get to kill you and shag him.
Which one would you do first? Would you
No.
make me watch you shagging him and then kill him? Because I would get some enjoyment out of that as well. Okay, so right, front wheel drive.
Yep.
Honda sports car.
Does it have a Type R badge?
No. 5 questions to go.
That's quite a good question. So a front wheel drive.
Era. Let's go with era.
Is it 90s?
Yes.
Okay.
4 to go.
Right. What we got? We need to confer.
Is
Right.
it a hatchback?
He's asked a question. No.
It's not a hatchback.
3 left.
Right. What's a front wheel drive sports car Honda of the 90s?
No, I asked rear wheel drive. It could be all wheel drive.
Oh, for crying out.
3 to go.
No, didn't he say front wheel drive?
No. I said, is it rear wheel drive? And he went, no.
Is it all wheel drive?
No. 2 left.
Okay. Front wheel drive Honda sports car. Okay, so no, that's not front wheel drive.
2
Because
to
I
go.
was thinking Honda B, but
Okay,
that's not it. So front wheel drive, we've got Civic, but that's a hatchback.
No, because
That's
it would have had a
hatchback.
Type R.
No, but like the. So what else do we have? A front wheel drive sports Honda that isn't a hatchback and it isn't an Integra. Honda. Accord? No, because
It would have had a Type R as well.
What about an estate? Could it be an estate? No, it's not a sports car though.
Is there a time limit on this?
It's as bloody long as I say, Ben.
Is it?
What are you thinking? Wait, we need to confer, Rory.
Is it convertible?
Sorry, is that a question?
No.
No, he's just talking to me.
Is
Ben.
it a convertible?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You got last question. Last question.
Okay, we are honing in. You better be quaking in those big size 10s of yours. Okay, so convertible, front wheel drive,
Yep.
Honda
Sports car.
sports car. So the only thing I can think of is a Honda Del Sol, which is the one with the retractable.
Didn't you ask that though?
Yeah, I did, and he said no.
Well, so it's not that then.
I know, but that's the only one I can think of.
Do you want to ask again the same question?
No, because you've already said no. Oh, I'm going to be so fuming. It's not a hatchback. It's a sports car. Front wheel drive sports car. Sorry, everybody. I know you're screaming at us down the phone line.
This is your question.
Okay. Front wheel drive, convertible Honda. It's not a Beat because that is rear wheel drive. It's not an Integra because they're not convertibles.
Think Formula One.
What? Is it a Formula One Honda? Yes or no, Ben?
No.
Oh, what is it? What is it? Did you throw me off the scent there?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
But I win.
Okay.
So it's a Honda CRX.
The CRX.
2-seater. The roof comes off, goes in the boot. Oh. Basically a Honda Civic. VTEC.
That is
Beautiful bit of kit.
That's cheeky. I like it though. I have
You like that?
respect for that. Respect for that. Yeah. Oh, Dick, we're not having him on again, are we? Rory's just on Google.
How many people normally win in that one? In this?
We usually get it by around question 16, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually.
So have you ever lost? It's the first.
No, it's not the first loss. It's definitely not. You're not that special.
But I'm
I
in
think
rare
it is
atmosphere.
out of 17 podcasts. I think that might be.
Top 3, maybe.
Yeah, I think we've only failed 3.
Right. Can we see some flaws in this answer? Can you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if it had a Type R badge at any point.
No, it didn't.
We're not going to trust you on this, Ben.
It doesn't look like it had a Type R badge.
Okay. All right. Well done, Ben Collins. Blah, blah, blah. Fantastic. So we had one other question, didn't we, Rory?
We did.
Do you remember what it was?
It was.
It was about TG, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. If you could relaunch Top Gear, what do you think that would look like now?
Well,
So sorry, before you go into that, like the good things and maybe the bad things that you would take out. So say you are Andy Willman now. You can be one of the presenters. What's your lineup look like? And I'm not fishing for me, but I'd love to take the job.
Yeah.
I would love.
Wouldn't
love
we
to.
all?
Yes. Yeah.
But you've got big boots to fill. At the end of the day, the original format hard.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
I was going to say
it's got
whose
to be
boots?
different. It's got to
Are
be
we
different.
going back to the originals?
I was in my
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
because that was
okay.
I think it was the heyday.
Yeah.
I think everybody that's done it has done a good job. It's but the peak era that's most watched, and it was the Clarkson era. So I think you look at a new format. If it was me, I'd go for the Avengers model. Go large, not just go for a larger group.
Multiple presenters.
You could have this. You've got more to argue about, more points of interest, more experiences, different.
Wasn't
completely
that
different.
what they did though with the Top Gear relaunch originally?
Did
Because
they?
it was like you had the three main, but then you also had Sabine Schmitz was there. Then who's the Eddie
Irvine.
was it Eddie?
Oh no, Eddie Jordan.
Eddie Jordan.
Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, Eddie Jordan was randomly
Yeah,
in
that
it
was
as
quite-
well.
I
Yeah,
remember that. That was quite
all
messy,
got
wasn't it? Yeah,
really
yeah.
odd at one point.
It did go. Yes, it had a bit of a. I still think though that there's something in the sort of team aspect, and that
Yeah.
kind of is what happens on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because everybody's jumping around doing their own things, collaborating. Some people are building cars. Some people are buying really expensive old high mileage cars with 8 million owners. We all have our different interests
We do.
and successes.
All right.
Some race them.
I'm trying.
Some drift them. Chris rallies them, etc. It's like there's a lot of different ways to go at it. So I think mimicking the sort of the 3 or 4 man team,
Yeah.
if you include the Stig, then it has to be different.
So what's your dream lineup? Chris? It's got to be Chris, right?
Well, I think Chris is great. I think there's guys in America like Matt Armstrong as well. There's loads of us that are doing it, that love cars, love car content that you could throw at this, and I don't think that it needs to be as stuck as that's going to be the group of 10.
Yeah.
I think you could come in and out.
10?
And out.
You'd have 10
Hell,
presenters?
yeah. Roving, doing different
That is
challenges.
going big, isn't it?
That is big.
That is
You could
really
do
big.
team stuff. You 3 against 3, 4 against whatever. You do just that might
Just
be
chuck them all in and
Chuck 'em.
see what shit sticks.
exactly right. Yeah, and plus you've got people who can actually engineer a car without the wheels coming off.
Yeah, that's not us,
Tavarish,
is it?
he's look what he's doing there. He's done crazy
Sorry,
stuff.
speaking of
So-
pronunciation,
Tavarish, sorry,
Tavarish?
Tavarish.
So we actually had
Chiron.
we actually had Tavarish and Alex, and I asked them the question: would they take the Top Gear role now if it was offered to them? And both of them said no.
True story.
Just
Unless you were at the helm.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think
I'll call Andy
YouTubers-
Willman. Let's phone him.
All right. Oh, shit, I don't have his number.
No.
Who's the most famous person in your phone book?
I don't know.
Can we have a look through your phone book?
It's in the car.
It's just there.
I'm not letting you loose my phone. No. Absolutely no way.
That is a very sensible.
Yeah, no.
It'd just be great, wouldn't it, if you just phoned up someone really famous?
Who do you want to speak to?
I don't know.
Tom Cruise?
Okay.
Not in there.
Oh, bloody fair play, fair play. All right, Ben. Well, what have you got coming up? YouTube. Have you got any more books planned? Trips planned? What's going on?
Yeah, not writing, but I'm doing more driving stuff. So I've just done. It's great. I got to go up to TDF to go look at their Formula One cars. Just drooling over the V10s.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just obsessed with them. The sound.
So-
that era was just awesome.
For people who don't know, TDF is like they remanufacture old Formula One parts and help keep old Formula One cars running.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the V10, they're amazing. They just eat themselves all the time. It's like the sort of car equivalent of a Vulcan bomber. The engine's just, they have to be rebuilt all the time. They're very
That
expensive.
sounded like the duck call. I heard it this time.
Yes. So they've re-engineered them. So some of the cars have got the TDF engine in a package, and you can run that, relatively affordably.
Yeah.
But they also are running the original V10 Hondas. They've got Jacques Villeneuve's Williams, the last Williams to carry the number 1. So I've done a kind of video looking around these different cars, and then basically got everyone to vote for their favourite. And so if you guys want to get involved with that, please get
Yep.
onto the channel, hit what you want to see.
What's the channel called?
Ben Collins Drive.
What's the podcast called?
Can't say. And and then they're going to let me. Basically, we're going to take the vote, and they'll let me drive that car.
Fantastic. Wow.
Which will be amazing. So I'm looking forward to
What's
that.
the one you want to drive?
I shouldn't say because I feel like influence it, but I think it's come across in the video. People are like, clearly you want to drive Villeneuve's Williams.
Yeah.
And so I'd love to drive all of them. So I mean, ultimately, but yeah, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
It's a proper. They're all proper cars, but there's something about that with it's got that livery. It was from the Williams peak era. That's pretty special. And it's got the last hints of Adrian Newey about it.
Fantastic.
Haven't you just filmed something with Drive Tribe as well, where you've been looks like you've been on a bit of a road trip with them? Yeah.
I called it the Top Gear Grand Tour, and then I got told, "Be careful, copyright."
Oh yeah.
So we just went around some really cool sites. We sort of been on a trail of Top Gear films, some of which I had nothing to do with at all, but it was really interesting and funny. Sort of going back through the old archive, we went to the Chipping Norton Lido or Lido? Lido. Where he chucked the Rolls Royce in.
Yeah.
So I was watching the footage and I was like, oh yeah, the stuntman did that, and we're like, what? And you can tell from the way it's filmed, and he obviously had to get in.
Yeah.
And then the lady said, oh, I was here then. Yeah, no, he didn't. He wasn't allowed to drive it into the pool.
Oh really?
Just shattered that one.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
quite sad.
It's really
isn't it?
funny.
Well, he didn't do a lot because there is that great clip of which he must have done, where Clarkson is just sitting in a car and he just decides it's time to get out while it's still driving along.
Oh yeah.
And he just dives out. Where apparently there is like a trailer here which he dives onto where he lands on a mat or something.
I haven't seen that, but have you seen the one? The funniest one is the one of him in Grand Tour when he's in a helicopter, and he literally falls out of the helicopter. They've got a safety line on him, but he's dangling, and that's 100% real.
Really?
Yeah.
So
And,
he didn't mean to fall out.
no, and his pants fall down and everything. He's just a complete buffoon. So funny, and I mean, but yeah, he does the stuff he'll do it's petrifying what he gets up to.
Yeah.
Because he goes to extreme lengths, and even on the farm, I mean, he's been kicked in the nuts by a sheep. He's nearly chopped his finger off. He's just nuts.
Fantastic. And another question from me. If you weren't doing YouTube, say YouTube didn't exist, what do you think you'd be doing now? Would it be stunt work, movie work, or something completely different? Like, what are your other passions?
So yeah, I mean, I love racing. I probably would allocate more time to try and get go and do that. I'm still really keen. I would love to win Le Mans. That is still something I would love to do.
Really? Okay.
So I'm on track a lot, and that sort of instinct hasn't gone away. So I'd love to do that, but actually still doing the occasional car chase. I managed to fit. I'm actually doing one this year up in London.
Yeah.
So for a movie that hasn't got we haven't been told the title, but it's so car chases are great because it's completely different to racing, which is very winner take all. You get across the line.
Yeah.
But it's quite sort of you're on your own within a team, but you're it's all competition. Whereas with the filming, you're all in it together.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. You're not trying to beat everybody, so it's more camaraderie in a way.
How much planning goes into one of those scenes where you got a baddie coming through a wall and stuff like this and everything, and how much goes into one of those?
More than you'd think.
Yeah.
So the Bond movies where they've got these incredibly complicated and really highly produced car chases and stunts, they're amazing, and they shoot everything for real. So they don't use CGI. So whatever you see is actually happened to someone driving that vehicle. So the first one I did was Quantum of Solace, and that was about 3.5-4 months.
Wow.
And so about 5 weeks of that was rehearsals. So planning in minute detail the routes and then mimicking those on an airfield and sort of really pacing out exactly so that when you go there you can hit the ground running, be accurate. So you have to do that and to take the risk out of it. But yeah, then it gets decanted to 1 minute 50 seconds. It's incredible.
Have you done any movies where it's just all gone to shit?
No, I mean they're expensive to produce.
Yeah,
these things are really crazy. No, ultimately they're kind of run in almost like a military fashion. You've got this big crew. Sometimes it's hundreds of crew. You've got the best in all departments. You've got the special effects teams creating these incredible technological marvels. So I worked on the Han Solo movie, which was epic. I'm a massive Star Wars fan. So it's a dream come true. So it's doubling.
There's a lot of Star Wars fans around, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm
you?
a massive Star
Tom
Wars
Lenthal as
fan.
well loves Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, all of our Jaguar Land Rover guy who does all the work, absolutely massive nut as well. Yeah.
Have you watched Han Solo?
Yeah. So what part in that? Because obviously you don't really think cars in.
Sadly, most people would think it's all CGI.
Yeah.
And actually, the vehicles are all real. So there's a chase. He escapes in his land speeder, that blue thing. Really amazing kit.
Spock, Captain Spock.
Solo.
Solo.
Did you watch Star Trek, or are you just taking the piss?
I'm just taking the piss, Ben. Yeah.
Did you watch? Do you know who Captain Kirk is?
On Star Trek.
Right. I live long and prosper.
Okay. Did he just diss me?
No.
What's just happened?
No.
What's just
It
happened?
was the way that
Oh, no, I
Ben
did it
went
wrong.
like
I don't know
this,
what you did wrong.
and then you went like this.
Do you know what I'm doing? I'm doing the West Side. You know, like
that.
Tupac Shakur, West Side.
I'm not sure you are. You try that in LA, you're going to get shot.
Do they still do the classic old Star Wars technique of a little mirror behind hiding the wheels of a land speeder? Because that was what it was in like the original.
Was it
Star
the mirror? I thought that they put Vaseline across the camera and then just drove it straight across. And they did a bit of both. So that was very practical special effects. So no, in this case, it was basically a completely ground up build, space frame chassis, V8 engine in the front, rally grade suspension, 4-wheel drive system, and with a hydraulic handbrake, manual shift. And you, on the handbrake, you had a button which you could flick, so you could have it in 4-wheel drive, and you could flick it into rear-wheel drive or front. So if you can imagine what you can do with that, you could almost make it spin like a hovercraft.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, and it had the cushioning on the suspension was unreal.
I was going to say because they'd have to make it look like it's not connected to the ground, but it like hovers above the ground, so it still does react to the terrain, but it can't be seen to be doing this.
Yeah.
What you get though is the weight transfer that denotes G and centrifugal forces and stuff. So you can see on the camera, you know, when you watch this thing behaving, it's behaving in a natural way. So all they've done is painted out the wheels in CGI afterwards. So that's it. So that's the only bit that's been manipulated, and the rest is real. So it's pretty. Oh, and face replacement. Obviously.
Yeah.
God, that would have been. I would have loved to have seen
Like, fantastic.
been involved in any sort of Star Wars.
Very
thing.
cool, and there's a really cool behind the scenes bit, and you can see it with its wheels.
Yeah.
On an airfield, and then they transform it. You see it on deck, but there's a lot that we shot for real. So it was a fully power station, which just looks like a real Star Wars set, and it was a TIE fighter factory. So I got to smash through a droid. And all this really cool stuff.
So are you involved? Because they've actually just started a new Star Wars TV production in Shinfield Studios, which is only about 15 minutes from here, I think, down the M4. And that's the first time that they're doing a Star Wars TV series where it's going to be shot in the UK.
Cool. Apart from Mandalorian, obviously.
Mandalorian shot?
Sharpshooting, yeah.
Was that shot in the UK?
Well, it's a TV series.
I'm
it's streaming.
completely lost. I don't know what they're talking
I thought that was shot in America with the.
Okay, so first one shot in the UK. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because that was John Favreau with the whole massive.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Honestly, Alex, you need to get into this.
He's a bounty hunter.
Okay.
He's coming for you.
I don't like bounties.
Coconut.
I never eat
Coconut.
Okay, we went off on a tangent there, but
Yeah.
fair play.
Sorry, it got really nerdy
I'm
for a
sure there's like
second.
one or two Star Wars fans who appreciate
No,
that.
everyone loves Star Wars.
Is
You're
that
just
right?
weird. You're
Okay.
just. I don't get. You are the generation where you should have loved Star Wars.
I was outside in my mum's garden just making a treehouse.
You were just
hitting-
dandelion, weren't you?
Yeah, hitting two bricks together.
I was as a child. I was actually with an angle grinder chopping off the a wheelbarrow handle.
You really weren't.
I genuinely did.
Well,
Yeah. I got
And
in
then
a lot of
and then
trouble.
you bought one, which is brilliant. It's a barrow, isn't it, Phyllis?
Anyway, it's
No.
been great having you.
It's
on.
been great. It's
Yeah.
been great being here.
Yeah.
Coming to the lair and seeing, you know.
I would love us to do a really cool video together, or even a series together.
Love
So
it.
We will think of something. Maybe you guys listening with your ear holes and comment below if you want to see us do something together with Ben. So long as it's not Star Wars related, because that would be terrifically boring.
Well, it sounds
What?
like you, the audience, need to slightly pressure Chris Harris into agreeing to his terms.
We should definitely do some rallying.
and then do
Do you
some
know what
rallying.
Do you know? So he's obviously had my number at some point.
Yeah.
But he picked that up, and he had no idea who was phoning him.
No.
He was like, "Hello," because I do that as well.
And
like,
now he's regretted it ever
Yeah,
since.
I know.
He's sitting there driving along, going, "Fuck! Why did I pick
block.
up?"
Yeah, I think I've been blocked.
You know,
But 100% he didn't know, because when I see a random number, I pick up the phone quite aggressively. Hello? And he did that to me.
No, it's just because you keep phoning him, and
No, it's actually, no, I think it's this the third time lucky
I think it's
now?
the third time, yeah.
I think the first time after I phoned him, was it in a podcast?
it
as
was
well?
in the podcast the
He
first
actually
time.
messaged me saying, "Sorry, I'm on shoot, blah, blah, blah. I'll get back to you." And then I just never heard anything.
but he can't.
He's a busy man.
He is busy.
He is a busy man, yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
you
Well,
were about to-
we could do some rallying with Chris.
Yeah, okay, that'd be good.
I'd love to take your Mazda out sometime.
Yeah,
and
we
try
should
and
definitely do that.
Set it up for you.
Set
Yes.
on fire.
No,
No,
it needs setting up.
It does. It needs
Are
someone.
you physically going to set it up for
I'll
me?
set it up for you. Yeah.
What, like string and everything?
No, I'd bring an engineer.
Oh, you bring a man?
You know, we'll figure it. You've got to figure it out.
Okay, that sounds very expensive. Are you
How
paid?
about?
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Because we want to take Phil back to the Nürburgring.
There you are.
Do you want to come to the Nürburgring?
I would love to go to the Nürburgring.
Yeah, no, with us though.
Yeah.
And then
fantastic.
I'll go with you.
And then we'll set up Phil. We'll find some. Well, we know some people at the Nürburgring.
We do, yeah. We know a lot of people.
And then you can tell us. We can do a few laps, and then this could be like a series on how to set up a car professionally for racing.
Bosh. That's a movie.
All right, we're not paying you though, man.
Yes, you are. Oh, shit. I didn't come here for free.
We did get you an M&S wrap
did,
there,
actually.
and some cookies and stuff like that.
Flapjack and a really dodgy cup of tea.
Yeah, no, it was
But
quite
thank
shit.
you.
Apologies for that. Anyway, massive thank you to Mr. Ben Collins for coming on our little podcast. It's
Absolute
been
pleasure. Thanks so
absolutely
much.
fantastic. And yeah, maybe you'd like to invite me onto yours one day.
I
or
would
not.
love
Okay.
that. It's
Wait.
called.
The Ben
Some Say.
Collins, Some Say podcast. So remind everyone your YouTube channel, Ben
Guys,
Collins
yeah,
Drives.
listen, thank you for having me. And come and find me on my channel, Ben Collins Drives, or my podcast, Some Say.
Fantastic. And with that, again, massive thank you to Ben and a massive thank you to everyone who watches us on YouTube, listens to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the rest of it. If you want to write in, the email address is
Podcast@autoalexcars.com.
fantastic. And with that, how long have we been going? We've been going for 1 hour 11.
Yeah.
A little bit shorter than usual, but we're going to crack on. And yeah, we will see you next week. Whatever you guys are doing, do it to the best of your ability. I hope that we've entertained you. And I hope that you've learned something new about Ben as well. There's another podcast that you did recently, which is the Road to Success podcast
Yep.
with
Benedict
Benedict Fowler. So that kind of goes more into your story as a child and growing up around cars and America and all of that. So if you want to know more about Ben's story and history, I say history because you're fucking old, then then listen to the
Less about
Benedict.
his bush.
His bush. Oh, we talked a lot about
Yeah,
your bush.
we did
You
talk
don't get that on the Road to Success podcast.
No.
But yeah, check that out as well. And also, yeah, definitely subscribe to Ben's channel, which is?
Ben Collins Drives.
And the podcast, Some Say. Thank you very much, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
See you soon, guys.
Goodbye. Keep waving, Ben. Oh.